There it is, right there. Our illustrious Puget Sound. Maybe the greatest undiscovered watershed in the United States. Yeah. 9-foot graphite rods with thunder and lightning. That's what we're talking about. Just stabbed at it until it looks like it went through, and hope it did. Wallet, phone, wallet. All right. So this is my favorite part about coming to Lincoln Cards for this. You get this little peek at it as you come down the hill. But when fishing the Sound, this is one of the things I always try to encourage people to do. And I get it. Oh my God, I so get it. And I'm in my waders and boots, or I'm just ready to go fish. Today it's in chacos and sandals, which is highly unusual for me. And I just want to get in the water right now. I just want to fish. I just got to get in the water right now. I just got to fish. Take a deep breath and just observe for a moment. So like, there's a bird that just rose, and there's a squirrel that just ran across the street. What squirrels? But see that boil from the bird that just dove? When people come out and they're fishing the beach and they just hustle into the water and they're not taking it all in the process, they run down, they see that boil, like, oh, did you see that fish right there? And then they spend 20 minutes chasing what I call a phantom fish, because that bird swims 80, 90, 100 feet and comes up over there, and they have no association with the fact that that boil was that bird a minute ago. Okay, so weekend's coming. World Cup's almost over. So time is becoming more abundant again. There's only one game left to watch, and that's on Sunday. So here's what I would tell you. We're mid-July right now, and its water is in the rivers is getting thin, to say the least. And with thin comes warm. And so we're already seeing water temps in the mid to high 60s towards the end of the day on like the Cedar and stuff like that. Looked at the Cedar's flows this morning. I think it said, I'd say 311 or something like that, which honestly is not bad, but we're halfway through the season and we're already at 311. I kind of fear what August is going to look like. So I would say get out as often as you can now. If that's the watershed that you spend 9 months of the year looking forward to fishing, take advantage of it right now. Evenings have been notoriously perfect right at dark. And I'm sorry, dark's coming at 9 o'clock or whatever, so plan your day accordingly. Get the kids to bed, and then get out there for an hour, 2 hours after that, and get the dry fly action that's happening. Caddis, small stimmies, small little foam bugs, probably some PMDs maybe coming off still, like little mayflies, purple haze. Like purple haze is an attractor, just as an FYI. In mayfly family, it's a mayfly, and we've covered this in fishing reports before, but I feel like it's time to reiterate it. The purple haze falls under the category of being a purple parachute habits, is effectively what it is. So if you go through entomology at pretty good length, you're never going to find a bug or an insect called parachute atoms or purple haze. It's just an attractor. Whether purple actually does it or not, really hard to say. I've never truly been able to get a fish to tell me exactly why they ate certain bugs. So if it's what you have confidence in, then fish it by all means. But really what you're looking at is a profile. Profile of that fly imitates any one of other, parachute-like flies that you could potentially fish. The winged olives in a size 14, have 14 blue winged olives, but 16s. Any of those that have that same sort of profile are going to work. So there's my purple haze spiel. We have a ton of them, so come grab them. The snoqualmie is no different with cedar really right now. I think midday is getting to be pretty difficult. What I've been telling people is, I know that our sport tries to drive the narrative of a dead drift dry fly, and there's an art to that. Like, that's a skill you need to hone. But there are also times and places with species of fish on certain watersheds where you're gonna probably give a better presentation of your fly, to the fish by casting across the fast water and kind of skating it or skittering it across into the slow water that you had just dry flies, that you dead drift. Okay, so as you move up through some of that pocket water and you get your, whether you're really close in your high stick dapping your dry fly on it, whatever you're doing, and you feel like there should be a fish there and you haven't gotten a rise to your fly yet. Once you get past that rock, you didn't walk through that water to get to the next hole, turn around and fish downstream of yourself and skate it through that water. Throw it into the fast water, let your line kind of belly up and swing that fly and across that seam. I think for cutthroat and some of our more opportunistic trout that you're going to find in our small streams, you're gonna get takes there that you otherwise wouldn't have trying to dead fly. Okay, so give that a shot. I personally don't have any reason to put a hook in every single fish in these watersheds, so you can dry drop for sure. It's going to be effective in many places. Certainly cedar. I just, on the snoqualmie forks, I just don't see the purpose of it. Like, figure out how to be more creative with your try fly presentation and get the fish to come up for you like you want. So that's those. Middle fork was at 211, and if you look at the USGS chart, mean is usually around 700 right now, and it's at 211. I just want to put that into perspective. And then we're mid-July, so that's kind of what the horizon looks like for us on that watershed. South Fork was at 31 or something like that. Really, really low. So anyway, take care of these fish when you do catch them. Crimp your barbs, for crying out loud. Take a hook that's barbed out of these smaller trout and be just ripping their face out. So you barb your hooks. And it takes less of your flesh out of you when you hook yourself. Just speaking for experience. Puget Sound. We're back to those molar tides, which actually I shouldn't really call them molar tides. At the top of the tide, in between the big drops. So you've got big drops coming down to almost zero right now from about 12. So pretty good drop. Kind of crescendoing around 10 or 11 in the morning. So it's coming down. When it comes back up, you've got that little dip in the middle, but the little dip right now still has 4, 5, 6 feet of tide change in there. So when you look at that, look at the beaches that you're trying to fish, in that middle part or later part of the day, and choose beaches that have more prominent water pushing past them. As you get into the finer extensions of the sound, like Case Inlet, stuff like that, you're going to find that while the tide does change, the movement of the actual water is pretty minimal. It almost kind of slowly feels like a bathtub and kind of slowly drains. You don't get a big circulating. So that's the sound. Again, this beach is in perfect shape right now. This is as ideal as I would want to see it if I was out here fishing for myself guiding. Next thing is steelhead. So there's not a lot open in our proximity right now. Cowlitz is probably the one within closest striking distance that has fish in it and that I would be targeting. It was at 2,900 this morning, which is really pretty good. It had a kind of a 500-600 CFS spike yesterday, and Mitch was down there, so not sure how they did, but Not a big enough spike to really affect fish's personality, in my opinion, but back down to that flow that you probably see pretty consistent for the rest of the summer. Unbelievable water to swing flies on. If you're new to spay and you're trying to figure out a place to really go kind of hone your skills and feel like you're in the game and practicing your new what will be profession or addiction, whichever way you want to look at it, the Cowlitz is fabulous for that. Don't have a boat, New Creek's got a big, huge stretch that you can fish on foot. If you do have a boat, there's nothing there that's really gonna hurt you. There's one S-turn from Barrier to Blue Creek that I think you kind of have to be careful of, because it kind of jams right into the bank. That if you carry yourself across, you'll make it into the eddy on River Right pretty easily. Small flies, skate. I'd skate, actually. I know the steelhead world is maybe more opinionated than much of the rest of freshwater fishing in the United States. And there's a ton of people that would tell you a hatchery fish will never come to a skater. That is categorically false. They will come to a skater. You just actually have to have a skater on your line in order to have it happen. So every time somebody says a hatchery fish won't come to a skater, ask what they're fishing, and they're probably not fishing a skater. So they'll never know for sure whether we're desperate. Sorry. So keep that in mind. What else have we got? Tuna off the coast. Tuna, this is middle of tuna season. So if you've got a 12-week gathering dust, go get out the Westport or down to Oahu, get on one of the charter boats and dig that. Maybe. We have a carp tournament this weekend over at Banks Lake with Bill Martz, which meets Cooper. It's the 9th annual one. There's some big carp around these parts. And this, while we've said in the past a 6-weight would be a really good all-around rod for around here, 6-weight on some of these bigger carp, you got your hands full. You might be undergunned on it. So 7, 8 wouldn't be bad ideas for those fish. Stand-up paddle boards for them in some of the lakes around here. It'll give you a tremendous amount of access to these fish. And the thing I like about using the SUP for bass and for carp is that you can get up above the water better than you can on some of the one-person boats to be able to better see what you're casting. And for carp, when you're sight casting to those, which is really what you want to do, that's going to be the best way to do it. All right. So let's walk out. The wind kind of picked up, which not bad. Yeah. Still haven't seen any fish rise, but that's all right. Let's go down and talk a little bit about a way that I like to cover longer pieces of water on the beach. It's a lot of beach to cover. So when you've got a big tide, if you start at one end and that's what you are making your forecast, it's perpendicular to the crest, 70, 45, 20 to parallel. If taking your time, if you're casting along hills, that could take you a couple hours. Well, in a couple hours, you're going to have a massive tide change, and if you can't relocate beaches, walk back up and fish it again. Because if you look right here, this is what I'm fishing over now. But in 2 hours, when the water is either in or out, I'm going to be standing up there fishing over this. So what that means is you look down here, there's these big rocks that start to form when the tide's in another 2, 3 feet. So they exist, but the water's going to surround them. Down here, you'll get these little patchy undulations with some and stuff like that. You'll get a few sticks that kind of start to fall into the water. So there's all sorts of structure that's going to actually start to become present for you to think about. So here's the thing. You're on the bottom of the beach, and all of a sudden, you see some activity of where people are, I'd say. Quite a way. There's activity that far up, and you can see it. Sure, reel in, walk up there and do it. So, I think you get the point. Basically, that's what I like to do. I like to try to cover the water in a way where I'm not just leaving this completely untouched. Because as you know, you're not always going to see fish thrive. So the whole point of this is creating that matrix across the water. So I like this last point. So when I'm walking up, see that you've got this tight little wind chop in these areas. That's fishy water to me. So a lot of people will come out and just look at this and be like, yep, wind and water. But when you start to look at water long enough, you'll see that water right, there's a little band of it right across there that has just a micro chop to the surface of it. Boom. I love that. That's my kind of water. All right, that's it. I think we covered everything. I was on notification, pissed at me. I gotta go teach someone to fast. Okay. Weekend fishing report for inland water anglers. Find it on our YouTube channel and keep them all there so you can go back and reference them. We do this for you. We do this to try to help you understand what to choose, where to go, what to expect, how to be better about doing it. All for the sake of just hoping that you choose fly fishing this weekend. Really.